Good evening to Doctor and our fellow classmates. This is the pre-recorded presentation of Syaima, Nur Melissa, Rabiatul Adawiyah, and Mohd Noor Maisarah from Group 6. Enjoy! Welcome! My name is Kuntum, and I'll be teaching you today. Are you excited for a fun learning session? Before that, I will introduce the books we are going to use today. We have Dr. Dog Explains Coronavirus by Prof. James G. Logan and Lydia Monks. We have Time to Come In, Bear, a children's story about social distancing by Kim St. Lawrence. Next, we have What is Coronavirus by Christine Bors. And we also have Someday Soon by Ari Gunsberg. Next, we have King COVID and the Kids Who Cared by Nicole Rim, Everybody Worries by John Bergerman, Birdie and the Virus by Andrea Baldwin and Anil Tortop. Next, we have The Little Corona King by Ellie Jackson and Laura Cowwood. Next, we have Bunty and Bubbly by Saurabh Gupta. And lastly, Winnie and Wilbur Stay at Home by Valerie Thomas and Corky Paul. So, what are we going to do today? So today, we will look into the images and representations of men and women and their sexuality. We will also look at the images and representations of male and female child characters. And lastly, we will share with you other findings that we analyzed based on these 10 books.
Oops! Before that, let's see our literature review first. The title of this literature review is Liberation of the Heroine in Red Riding Hood, a study on feminist and post-feminist discourses by Hugh Yan Chang. My focus is Chapter 2, Second Wave Feminism and Red Riding Hood using the theory Foucault repressive hypothesis. The author used Angela Carter's The Company of Wolves, which is the other version of Little Red Riding Hood. In the original book, the second wave feminists claim that the Red Riding Hood is a victim of rape and how she is violated and oppressed by the wolves. But Chang claims that one should see it as women seeking pleasure from rape fantasy or role-playing. Women with different sexual thoughts than others are dismissed by the second wave feminists, thus strengthens the repressive hypothesis by Foucault, which then creates a liberation loop. No true liberation achieved as the second wave feminism refused to validate women who consume pornography and having a rape fantasy. So it contradicts the real meaning of liberation and continues to perpetuate gender oppression.
The next literature review is based on the article Witch Oil, Subversive Female Mentors in Philip Pullman's His Dark Materials, which is written by Acidis Agresos. The book talked about themes such as the exploration of truthfulness and challenging the authority of religious foundation. The author also analyzes the disruptive possibilities of the representation of women. This is focused on the character Marissa Coulter, the mother, and Serafina Becala, the witch. The author mentions how a feminist discussion between the characters in the book are avoided, but rather to analyze whether the portrayal of women is complex. Furthermore, these two characters are good examples that represent the portrayal of women in fantasy literature because they overthrow the stereotypes and positively change Lyra's view on feminism.
For the next literature review, in the article titled She Can Do It, Messages of Female Empowerment in Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland and Roald Dahl's Matilda by Megan Dickinson. In the article, she analyzed the text using Foucauldian theory of power to examine the necessity to empower little girls. It is said that the knowledge-based self-empowerment and the perseverance of the characters exhibited, which contributed to power dynamics, are leaning towards feminism. Matilda from the beginning was nothing but a nuisance to the wormwood, but because of her will to gain knowledge, she managed to shift power from the adults to bring justice where she felt deserving. According to Foucault, the nature of power is fluid, which means it can be shifted through knowledge and circumstances. At school, she was forced to face the tyrannical headmistress, Miss Trunchbull, who perfectly displayed the physical imbalance in power dynamics by fear-mongering the students at school. While the antagonist is a female, Miss Trunchbull had acquired masculine traits, which then in a way contributed to Matilda's distrust towards masculine adults. Matilda may be inferior to these people by her age, size, and gender, but because of her knowledge, she managed to shift her power, which resulted in their downfall and Matilda's self-empowerment. Through this article, the influence of power within a relationship is apparent and is proven can be altered through knowledge.
Moving on to my literature review entitled A Feminist Analysis of Lyman Frank Baum's The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, Lucy Maud Montgomery's Anne of Green Gables, and Frances Hudson Burnett's The Secret Garden by Bonnie Becker that was published in 2013. This chapter utilizes feminist literary theory and specifically employs the notion of Simone de Beauvoir, Luz Irigoyen, Ellen Sigsock, and Judith Butler to analyze Lucy Maud Montgomery's Anne of Green Gables and other selected texts. It analyzes this book by relating feminist literary analysis to the author's portrayal of the female protagonist Anne, the secondary female characters Marilla, Mrs. Rachel Lynn, and Diana, and also the secondary male characters Matthew and Gilbert Blythe. In this article, it finds out that Lucy Maud Montgomery's characters in this story conform to the traditional stereotypical gender norms, but subtly showing the desire for women's emancipation throughout the book, with the portrayal of women's intelligence and outspokenness and men's effeminacy.
I will be explaining about the images and representations of men and women in their sexuality. We found that in the books, women are enmeshed in housework. As we can see here, the grandma's cooking, which implies that women are expected to do the cooking and cleaning in the house for their children and grandchildren. We can see that the mother is worried because of the child's mess, childbearing act, and it is mother's role to explain and discipline their children. So women are socially constructed by the society to maintain the best interest of the child and anything related to the housework. The next one is career. Both male and female are given equal opportunity to work in desirable field without limitation. Women are portrayed as smart and intelligent while men as tough and brave. As you can see here, there are male and female who work as doctors because both genders are given opportunity to work. There are also male as firefighter because they are brave, female as music teacher, and male as taekwondo instructor. But there are also women who works as a scientist. On to gender expression. A gender presentation that includes mannerism, interests, and appearances that are associated with gender in a particular cultural context, specifically with the categories of femininity or masculinity. As you can see here, colors act as signifier. Pink represents girl, blue represents boy. We also have brave male character, a whiny mother, a serious mother, and stressed out mother. We also have mad scientists, and we can see that no specific color for adult.
What about images and representations of male and female child characters? We found that there are 2 representations of male and female child characters in these 10 books. The first one is gender expression. Male and female child characters are usually represented using colors that associate them with either femininity or masculinity. In most of the books, girls are always associated with pink, and almost all of them are seen to don a skirt, wearing heels and ribbon on their hair, portraying their femininity. Male child, on the other hand, is often represented using masculine colors such as blue, having a short haircut and wearing shirts and pants. It is also clear that the gender of the children in these 10 books are differentiated based on hairstyles and clothes. Female child characters tend to be portrayed as grumpy and cranky too, while male child characters are playful but emotionless. Female child in Christine Barr's What is Coronavirus is represented to be emotional. The girl is grumpy and cranky simply because they need to stay at home. Male child is described to find fun in exciting and fun activities that moves and shakes the body, such as dancing, yoga, and exercising. On the other hand, female child is described to find fun in a human relationship-based activities, such as sending pictures of drawing to family and friends and calling family and friends to check up on them. However, we also note that there are books that represent both genders with the same images. In Someday Soon by Ari Gansberg, both genders enjoy having fun either by playing toys or simply playing outside of their house. It also includes activities such as gardening for both male and female child, showing their gender neutrality. In Sorib Gupta's Bunty and Bubbly, Bunty as the little girl is rebellious despite her feminine features.
Dr. Dog, where are you?
Dr. Dog is here. So, today Dr. Dog will be addressing our findings that we have gained from all these books. There are 4 of them, which are color stereotype, challenging the societal norms, gender and emotional expression, and finally gender role stereotype. For color stereotype, we use boys with blue and pink for girls, while the second one for challenging the societal norms, the story portrays women with equal work opportunity as men, such as doctors and teachers. And for gender and emotional expression, male characters are portrayed as brave, while female characters are in need of help. And finally, for gender role stereotype, husband is considered as breadwinner, while the wife is doing housework to take care of the children.
Aww, isn't he cute? Thank you, Dr. Dog. Let's move on to the conclusion. Based on the books we have reviewed and analyzed today, we can come to the conclusion that there is an apparent progressive representation of both gender. Women are still commonly bound to housework and childbearing act, and gender-inclusive pronoun is often used, especially in representing child characters.
Here are the works cited. Thank you everyone for listening.
Bye-bye.